"Ethan, you're late again." The roar cut through the office hum, and I nearly sent my coffee flying. I looked up. Of course, it was Ava Sterling, our department's resident ice queen, fixing me with a death glare. Those eyes of hers. Eyes so beautiful they could make your heart skip a beat, right before she ripped it out. Sorry. The train was stalled. I scrambled for an excuse, my stomach twisting into knots. This was the third time this month. Knowing Ava's temper, I was in for a masterclass in suffering. The L train was stalled. Ava echoed back at me with a cold smirk. She clicked across the floor on 4-inch stilettos, stopping right in front of my desk. "Ethan, do I look like an idiot to you?" Up close, I had to admit she was stunning. Jet black hair pulled back in a sleek, severe style. Sharp features. A predatory aura. She looked like a CEO from some movie. A very, very angry CEO. "Ms. Sterling, I'm really not lying," I said quickly, holding up my phone. "Look, it's all over the news alerts." Ava plucked the phone from my hand, her slender fingers swiping across the screen. Then suddenly, her expression shifted into something I couldn't read. What is this lock screen? I froze. My blood ran cold, then hot, rushing to my face. Oh God. I'd forgotten. Last night, I'd secretly saved a photo of her from the company Christmas party and set it as my lock screen. She was in a black evening gown, smiling, a genuine sweet smile I'd never seen in the office. "That, I can explain," I panicked, reaching for my phone, but it was too late. She just stood there, staring at the picture of herself, then slowly lifted her gaze to meet mine. I braced for the explosion, the condemnation, the public execution. But instead, a faint blush crept up her neck. "Ethan." Her voice was suddenly soft, barely a whisper. You made my picture your lock screen?" I couldn't form a sentence. It was over. This was 1,000 times more embarrassing than getting fired. Having your boss find out about your secret, hopeless crush? Death would have been kinder. But what happened next completely blew my mind. Ava suddenly wrapped her arms around my arm, pressing herself against me. I caught the faint, expensive scent of her perfume. "Ethan," she purred, her voice syrupy sweet, sending goosebumps down my arms. "So, you do like me?" The whole office went dead silent. Heads were popping up over cubicle walls like prairie dogs. I knew it. I knew you felt something for me. Jessica was staring, jaw on the floor. David looked like he was trying to figure out if he was dreaming. Was our cold, tyrannical Ms. Sterling actually flirting with a subordinate? This had to be some surreal nightmare. "MMS, Sterling," I squeaked. "Call me Ava," she whispered, batting her eyelashes. "Since you like me, that makes us a couple. And starting today, you're my personal assistant." What? My eyes went wide. This was moving way too fast. 1 minute I was shaking in my boots over being late, and the next I was... What? The boss's personal assistant? But I'm just a junior sales rep, I stammered. "So what?" Ava declared, snapping back into business mode. "I'm the manager. What I say goes. Move your things to the empty desk next to my office." "No." A wave of whispers washed over the office. I caught Jessica giving me a look that screamed, "You lucky bastard." David, meanwhile, was practically radiating envy. "Ava, is this really a good idea?" "I tried one last time." "What's not a good idea?" she shot back. Her Ice Queen mask slid back into place, but there was a new, unsettling glint in her eyes. "Ethan, as your manager, I am ordering you to move your desk." Yes, Ms. Sterling," I mumbled, defeated. There was no escaping this. Moving my desk was an ordeal. Ava supervised the entire process, vetoing every single personal item I owned. "Not the cactus," she said, pointing at my little plant. "You could prick your finger." "This mug is hideous," she added, holding up my favorite coffee cup. "The color is drab. I'll buy you a new one." "And this pen holder. You know what, forget it. You're not bringing any of this. I'll get you a whole new setup." And she did. My new desk looked like a unicorn had thrown up on it. a pink pen holder, pink sticky notes, pink file folders. Even the stapler was pink. Ava. I stared at the sea of Pepto-Pink. I'm a guy. So, she said as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. Pink is cute. Besides, this way I can tell at a glance which things are yours. At a glance? Why would you need to do that? Before I could finish, she launched into her next set of directives. From now on, you'll get my coffee every morning. She handed me a rewards card. This is from my usual place. A medium latte, 1 pump of vanilla, extra foam. And the temperature needs to be perfect. Not too hot, not too cold. Oh, okay. I took the card. That didn't sound too unreasonable. And you'll have lunch with me, she continued, ticking items off an invisible list. I'm sick of all the places downstairs. You'll find us a new restaurant every day. Okay. Oh, and you can't leave right after work anymore. Her eyes narrowed. You'll stay and keep me company while I work late. Until I say you can go. What? I blinked. But our department doesn't have that much overtime right now. Who said anything about work? She cut me off, a sly smile playing on her lips. I said you'll keep me company. Just be here with me. You are not allowed to leave before I do. This was insane. I was screaming internally. But one look into those beautiful, menacing eyes, and I nodded like a bobblehead. Good, Ava said, pleased. Now give me your phone. Why? I'm making myself your emergency contact, she said, holding out her hand. And I'm pinning our chat to the top of your messages. Resigned, I handed it over. I watched as her fingers flew across the screen. Then her expression darkened. Ethan. Her voice dropped low and cold. Why are there so many girls in your contacts? What? I leaned over. Those are just friends from college. Old coworkers. Friends. Her tone dripped venom. There's no such thing as a platonic friendship between a man and a woman. Delete them, she commanded. From now on, I'm the only woman you're allowed to talk to. That's not right, I tried to protest. But the murderous look on her face made me wilt. Okay, I'll delete them. Don't bother, she snapped, snatching the phone back. I'll do it. I watched in horror as she went on a digital killing spree. My social life, methodically executed by a woman in 4-inch heels. There, she said triumphantly, handing the phone back. Now I'm the only female contact you have left. I looked at the screen. My contacts list had been cut in half. Ava. I was on the verge of tears. This is crazy. What's crazy about it? She said, blinking innocently. I'm protecting you. All those other girls were just trying to use you. I'm the only one who truly cares about you. Truly cares. This felt less like caring and more like being put under surveillance. But then I looked at that gorgeous face. And the fight just drained out of me. Fine. I'll just think of it as special attention from the beautiful boss. The next morning, I went to get Ava's coffee as ordered. The barista saw the rewards card and gave me a knowing smirk. Morning, Ethan. Another one from Ms. Sterling, she chirped. You two are so cute together. We're not, I started to say, then remembered Ava's warnings and shut my mouth. Medium latte, 1 pump vanilla, extra foam, perfect temperature? You got it, the barista said with a wink. She's a lucky woman, having such a dedicated boyfriend. Boyfriend? My face burned. We were just manager and whatever I was. When I got back to the office, Ava was sitting at my desk, rifling through my files. Ava, what are you doing? I asked. Reviewing your work, she said without looking up. You were late yesterday. I need to make sure you're not falling behind. It sounded plausible, but my internal alarm bells were screaming. My coffee, she said, holding out her hand. I quickly passed it over. She took a delicate sip, then frowned. The temperature is wrong, she declared. It's too hot. What? I stammered. But I specifically told them. Get another one, she said, pushing the cup back toward me. Remember. Perfect. Not too hot, not too cold. I glanced at the clock. It was almost 9. If I went back, I'd be late again. So what? She said, eyes wide and innocent. You're my. Defeated, I trudged back to the coffee shop. This time, I practically begged the barista to let the latte cool down a bit. But when I returned, Ava took one sip and declared it was too cold. By the third trip, the barista was looking at me with pity. Dude, what is going on? This is your third latte today. My girlfriend is very particular about temperature, I mumbled. Ah, I get it, she said with a knowing nod. Girls in love can be a little crazy. In love. This wasn't love. This was torture by latte. When I finally returned with a coffee that was, by some miracle, the perfect temperature, I was exhausted. Ava took it, nodded in satisfaction, and said, Much better. But next time try to get it right on the first try. Don't waste so much time. I bit back the urge to scream. Right. Lunch, she announced. I'm in the mood for sushi. Okay, I said. Which place do you want to go to? You choose, she replied with a cunning smile. But if I don't like it, you're staying with me until 10 tonight. What kind of twisted game was this? I felt like I'd walked straight into a trap. At noon, I cautiously picked a highly rated sushi place downtown. Ava had changed into a casual sundress and looked softer, less intimidating than her office self. Ethan, do I look pretty today? She asked out of the blue. I glanced at her. She didn't just look pretty. She was breathtaking. The light blue dress and simple white sneakers made her look less like a corporate shark and more like the girl next door. Very pretty, I said honestly. So, which do you like better? Me at work or me like this? She asked, her eyes sparkling. It was a trick question. I could feel it. I chose my words carefully. I think you look great no matter what. Really? Her eyes lit up. Then, when do you think I look my best? I thought for a moment. I think you look the most beautiful when you smile. It was the truth. Even though she was usually scowling, on the rare occasion that she genuinely smiled, it was dazzling. Her face flushed a deep crimson. She looked down at her lap and mumbled, Then I'll try to smile more. Wait, that wasn't the reaction I expected. I glanced at her again and saw the tips of her ears glowing bright red. No way. Could she actually like me? Back at the office, a small, elegantly wrapped box was sitting on my desk. What's this? I asked Ava. Open it, she said with a mysterious smile. I carefully opened the box. Inside was a sleek silver tie clip engraved with my initials. This. I was stunned. This is for me. MHM. She nodded. I thought you could use a little sprucing up. It suits you. Thank you. I didn't know what to say. A boss giving a subordinate a personal gift like this was way outside the lines of a normal professional relationship. Try it on, she urged. I fumbled with the clip, and she stepped closer to help. Her fingers brushed against my chest as she adjusted it. I could feel the warmth radiating from her. Hear her soft breathing. Perfect, she said, stepping back. Wear it every day. Every day? I asked. Isn't it a little formal for the office? No, she insisted. This way I can. Can what? Nothing, she said quickly, changing the subject. By the way, we're working late tonight again. I groaned. But I finished all my projects. I told you it's not about work, she said, suddenly looking nervous. I want to talk to you. Alone. Alone. That sounded dangerous. At 6, the office emptied out, leaving just the two of us. She had me sit on the couch in her office while she made 2 cups of tea. Ethan, she began, sitting across from me and clutching her mug like a lifeline. Yeah. Do you really like me? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. The question hung in the air. My heart started hammering against my ribs. How was I supposed to answer that? If I said yes, was I crossing a line? I hesitated. Don't lie to me, she said softly. I knew it the second I saw my picture on your phone. Being called out so directly actually calmed my nerves. Yes, I said, meeting her gaze. I like you. A wave of color washed over her face. She set down her tea, her hands trembling slightly. Then we. I cut in quickly. I know you're my boss. I would never cross that line. What line? Ava suddenly exclaimed, her voice cracking. I like you too. What? I stared at her, certain I'd misheard. What did you just say? I said, I like you too, she repeated, standing up and walking over to me. I've had my eye on you since your first day here, but you're always so hard on me. That's because I didn't know what else to do, she confessed, her voice getting smaller. I've never been in a relationship before. I don't know how to be nice to someone I like. It all clicked into place. The bizarre behavior, the contradictory signals. It was all because she was clueless. So, I asked carefully, all those demands over the past couple of days. It was because I wanted to spend more time with you, she said, her cheeks flaming. I wanted you to think about me and only me. And deleting all my contacts, I was jealous, she admitted without a hint of shame. It made me angry seeing you talk to so many other girls. The coffee temperature. I just wanted an excuse to make you run around a little. She mumbled, but you'd have me on your mind. Oh my God. This was her way of flirting. Twisted and weird, but also strangely adorable. Ava, I said her name. Yes. Will you go out with me? She stared at me for a second. Then a slow smile spread across her face. She nodded, her cheeks as red as an apple. Okay. Ever since we made it official, Ava's possessiveness had gotten even more intense. The next morning, I went to get her coffee and found her already waiting for me at the shop. Ava, I said, surprised. What are you doing here? I wanted to commute with you, she said, as if it were obvious. From now on, we ride to and from work together. But we live on opposite sides of the city. Then you can move closer to me, she said with a bright smile. I already found a great apartment for you. What? I nearly dropped my coffee. When did you do that? Last night, she said cheerfully. It's in the building right across the street from mine. That way we can see each other all the time. This was happening way too fast. We'd been official for less than 24 hours and she was already trying to rearrange my entire life. But my lease isn't up for another 6 months. I'll pay the penalty fee, she said with a wave of her hand. Don't worry about the money, Ethan. This is what's right. She stepped forward, stood on her toes, and planted a quick kiss on my cheek. We're a couple. Couples are supposed to be together. The kiss short-circuited my brain. People on the sidewalk were smiling at us. I could feel my face turning the color of a boiled lobster. Oh, okay, I stammered. When we walked into the office together, it was like a bomb had gone off. Whoa, Ethan, are you and Miss Sterling actually a thing? Jessica whispered, rushing over to my desk. Well, I didn't know what to say. Of course we are, Ava said, appearing behind me and looping her arm through mine possessively. Ethan is my boyfriend. The office erupted in gasps and murmurs. No way. The Ice Queen has a heart. Ethan, you're a legend. This is literally a rom-com. I could only manage a weak, awkward smile as Ava beamed, soaking in the attention. All right, everyone. Back to work, she finally announced, letting go of me and slipping back into her manager persona. Ethan, my office. I followed her in. The second the door was closed, she was back on me, wrapping her arms around my waist. So, she purred. Wasn't that a cool way to announce our relationship? Cool, yeah, I said, struggling to breathe. Then I deserve a kiss as a reward, she said, pouting. I glanced nervously at the glass wall of her office. Someone will see. Let them see, she said defiantly. I want the whole world to know you're mine. Her possessiveness was terrifying, but looking at that eager, expectant face, I leaned down and gave her a soft kiss. She hummed, satisfied. I'm so happy. The following week was a masterclass in what it meant to be loved to the point of suffocation. Ava's need for control was even stronger than I'd imagined. Not only did we commute together, but she also required hourly text updates on my activities. 10 a.m. Ava. Ethan, what are you doing right now? Me. Organizing client files. Ava. Send me a picture. 11 a.m. Ava. What are you doing now? Me. Discussing the project with David. Ava. Why are you discussing it with him? You could have just asked me. 12 p.m. Ava. What now? Me. Getting ready for lunch. Ava. Wait for me. We're going together. It was endless. To make matters worse, she placed a small mirror on my desk, angled just right so she could watch my every move from her office. Ava, I finally broke. Don't you think this is a little much? Much. She looked at me with wide, innocent eyes. What's too much? I'm just showing you I care. It feels less like caring and more like being watched. Watched. Her expression turned dangerous. Ethan, are you hiding something from me? No, I said quickly. It's just, I think we need to give each other a little space. Space. Her voice grew cold. What do you need space for? To talk to other women. No, that's not what I meant. Then you're tired of me, she whispered, her eyes welling up with tears. I knew it. I knew you'd get sick of me. Seeing her about to cry shattered my resolve. I'm not sick of you, I said softly, pulling her into a hug. I need to get used to this. Really? She asked, looking up, a single tear tracing a path down her cheek. Really, I said, kissing her forehead. I'm touched by how much you care. Then you won't talk about space anymore, she murmured, snuggling into my chest. We have to be together always, never apart. Okay, I sighed. I was trapped. This woman was going to be the end of me. But I had to admit, as smothering as she was also incredibly good to me. She started packing me lunch every day, massaging my shoulders when I was stressed. And once, when I got a cold, she insisted on taking the day off to care for me. You don't have to do this, I said, embarrassed. I can manage. No, she insisted. You're my person now. It's my job to take care of you. She brought me a bowl of homemade chicken noodle soup. I looked up a recipe, she said, carefully blowing on a spoonful before holding it out to me. I've never really cooked before, but I wanted to learn for you. Looking at her earnest expression, warmth spread through my chest. Her love was intense, maybe even a little crazy, but it was real. Thank you, I said, taking her hand. Don't thank me, she replied with a sweet smile. We're a couple. This is what we do. Ava. Yes. I love you. It was the first time I'd said it. She froze, her eyes filling with tears again, but this time they were happy ones. I love you too, she whispered, throwing her arms around me. I love you so much it hurts. Our peaceful routine lasted for about a month. Just when I thought things were settling into a sweet, if slightly obsessive, rhythm, a new crisis arrived. One morning, Ava and I walked in to find a new face in the office. Hi, everyone. I'm a new intern, Chloe, the girl said with a bright, bubbly smile. It's great to be here. Everyone welcomed her warmly. I gave her a polite nod, but I could feel the temperature beside me drop by 20 degrees. Ethan, Ava hissed under her breath. Stay away from her. She's just the new intern, I whispered back. I don't care, she said flatly. You're not to speak to her. That was an impossible demand. We were in the same department. Interaction was inevitable. Sure enough, that afternoon, I was assigned to help Chloe with a project. Ethan, could you show me how to analyze this data? She asked, holding out a report. Sure, look here. I began to explain, but a wave of pure menace washed over me from behind. I glanced over my shoulder. Ava was standing in her office doorway, staring at us with a look that could kill. Chloe, why don't you give it a try first? Let me know if you get stuck, I said quickly, backing away. Okay, she said, oblivious. Less than 5 minutes later, a text from Ava buzzed on my phone. My office. No. I walked in on eggshells. Close the door, she said coldly. I did as I was told, standing before her like a prisoner awaiting his sentence. "What were you doing with her?" she demanded. "Just showing her the ropes." "Showing her?" She sneered. "You were standing so close. Are you sure that's all you were doing?" "I swear it was just work." "Ethan!" She suddenly shouted my name. "Do you think she's younger and prettier than me?" "No," I said immediately. "You're the most beautiful." "Then why were you so gentle with her?" Tears welled in her eyes. "You've never been that gentle with me." I was speechless. It was true, I was patient with the new girl, but that didn't mean anything. "You're not denying it," she sobbed. "You're silent. That means you agree." "I knew it. I knew you'd fall for someone else." "I haven't." I rushed forward and wrapped my arms around her. "Ava, calm down." "How could I be calm?" she cried into my shoulder. "The way you looked at her. It was different from how you look at me." "How was it different?" "There was a light in your eyes," she choked out. "The same light you had when you first looked at me." This was insane. Her jealousy was off the charts. "Ava, listen to me," I said, stroking her back. "I have no feelings for her. You are the only one I love." "Really?" She sniffled, looking up. "Really," I said, meeting her eyes. "If you don't believe me, I can ask for a transfer to another department." "No." She shook her head frantically. "I don't want you to leave me." "Then you have to trust me," I said, kissing her lips softly. "I'm yours. I'll always be yours." She finally stopped crying, but the anxiety still lingered in her eyes. "Then promise me something. Anything other than work-related necessities. You are not to initiate a conversation with her." "Okay," I sighed. "And if she approaches you, you have to tell me immediately." "Okay." "And you are not, under any circumstances, to be alone in a room with her." "That one's tricky," I hedged. "What if we have to, for work?" "Then make sure someone else is there," she declared. "You two cannot be alone." The rules were ridiculous. But looking at her tear-streaked, terrified face, I agreed to everything. For the next few days I was a model of compliance. But Chloe was a naturally friendly person, and it was hard to avoid her. "Hey, Ethan. You've been so quiet lately," she said, catching me in the break room. "Oh, just busy," I said with a tight smile. "Well, let me help you," she offered. "I'm a fast learner." "No, that's okay. You should focus on your own training." "You're too nice," she laughed. "Hey, let's get lunch sometime." My treat. I glanced toward Ava's office. I could practically feel her eyes burning a hole through the wall. "Sorry, I have plans." "Dinner then," she pressed. "I know this amazing new taco place." "Can't do dinner either." "Well, when are you free?" she asked, looking a little hurt. Just then, Ava appeared in the doorway. "Chloe, is your work finished?" Her voice was arctic. "Oh, Miss Sterling." Chloe straightened up. "I was just taking a quick break." "Interns should be using that time to study," Ava said, walking between us. "And Ethan, you shouldn't be wasting time with idle chatter, right?" We both mumbled an agreement. "And one more thing," Ava said, turning to Chloe. "It's company policy that interns are not to ask full-time employees out for meals. It creates an awkward dynamic." "What? When did that become a rule?" I screamed internally, but kept my face a perfect mask of "Yes, boss. You are correct." "Oh, I'm so sorry," Chloe said, looking mortified. "It's fine," Ava said with a magnanimous, predatory smile. "You're new. Now you know." With that, she grabbed my arm and dragged me away. "What did she say to you?" Ava demanded the second we were back at my desk. "She just asked if I wanted to get lunch or dinner," I said honestly. I knew it. Her face contorted with rage. "That woman is bad news." "Ava, she was probably just trying to be friendly with a coworker." "Friendly?" Ava scoffed. "Why didn't she ask David or Jessica? Why you?" I had no answer for that. "And she called you Ethan," she fumed. "So familiar. She's obviously trying to. She was convinced Chloe was trying to seduce me." I think that's just her way, I said carefully. What way? Ava demanded, standing up and pacing the room. I think she's doing it on purpose, I muttered, though inside I was getting genuinely worried that Ava might do something drastic. Ava, you need to calm down, I said. How can I be calm? She shot back, stopping to stare at me. Do you have any idea how much it hurt to see you two talking and laughing together? I'm sorry, I said quickly, guilt rising in my chest. I'll be more careful. No, she said firmly, grabbing my hand. Ethan, let's move. What? I blinked at her. Let's move to another city, she said, eyes wide and deadly serious. Somewhere no one else can bother us. That's extreme, I stammered, stunned. What about our jobs? I'll quit, she declared. I have enough savings for us to live on for years. But, no buts. She squeezed my hand tighter. Ethan, please. Let's go somewhere it can just be the two of us. Looking into her desperate eyes, I realized just how serious this was. Her possessiveness had spiraled into something dangerous. Ava, I said gently, taking her hands in mine. We need to talk. That night we sat in her living room, the air thick with tension. Ava, I don't think our relationship is healthy. I finally forced the words out. What do you mean? She asked instantly, her guard shooting up. Your possessiveness, I said carefully. It's too much. If we keep going like this, we're both going to burn out. I'm not possessive, she retorted. I just love you. Love shouldn't be a cage, I said softly. Real love is about freedom and trust. Freedom. Her voice trembled. Freedom for what? To find another woman? No, I shook my head. I want a normal relationship. What's normal? She cried. Tears started to fall. Am I not good to you? I've given you everything. You are so good to me. I've never ever doubted that, I said, gently wiping a tear from her cheek. But love needs trust just as much as it needs affection. I do trust you. If you trusted me, you wouldn't fly into a rage because I spoke to Chloe for 2 minutes, I sighed. You don't trust me, and you don't trust us. She fell silent, considering my words. Then she whispered, But I'm scared of losing you. You're the first person I've ever really liked. I don't know what I'm doing. Hearing that, my heart ached for her. Ava, I said, pulling her into my arms. I'm not going to leave you. But you have to learn to trust me. I don't know how, she sobbed into my chest. I'm always so worried someone will steal you away. Why? I asked gently. Because I don't think I'm good enough, she choked out. My temper is awful, and I'm always taking it out on you. You idiot, I said, kissing the top of her head. You're more than good enough. Really? She looked up at me, searching. Really, I said firmly. Seriously. But you have to work on controlling your emotions, and you have to learn to trust me. I'll try, she nodded, tears streaking her face. But you have to promise you won't leave me. I promise, I said, holding out my pinky. Pinky swear? She asked, a watery smile breaking through. Cross my heart and hope to die, I said. After that talk, Ava really did start to change. She still got jealous sometimes, but it wasn't the all-consuming rage it used to be. One day when Chloe came over to ask a question, Ava stood by and watched, but she didn't interrupt. Ethan, what do you think of this proposal? Chloe asked. It's a good start, but this section could be stronger, I said, pointing to a paragraph. Oh, I see it now. You're so smart, Ethan. Instinctively, I glanced at Ava. Her fists were clenched at her sides, but she was holding her ground, breathing evenly. Chloe, try revising it with that in mind, and let me know if you need more help, I said quickly, ending the conversation. Okay, thanks, Ethan. A minute later, Ava walked over to my desk. Ethan, her voice was shaking a little. What's wrong? I asked, concerned. I really wanted to go over there and pull her away from you just now, she admitted. But I didn't. You did great, I said warmly, taking her hand. I'm proud of you. Really. Her eyes lit up. "Really," I said, kissing the back of her hand. "Seeing you try so hard to change. It means everything to me." A huge, genuine grin spread across her face, radiant and unguarded. "Then I get a kiss as a reward," she demanded, pouting. I glanced around the office, then leaned over and gave her a quick peck on the cheek. Satisfied," she said, spinning in a happy little circle. Watching her so joyful, I knew all the craziness had been worth it. As time went on, our relationship found its balance. Ava's possessiveness was still there, but it had mellowed into a set of quirky rules we both understood. She no longer needed hourly updates, just a check-in at lunch and before we left the office. She didn't forbid me from speaking to female colleagues, but she did expect a full report afterward. To anyone else, it might have seemed insane. But for us, it was progress. "Ethan, I want to meet your parents," she said one evening. "What?" I blinked. "Now." She nodded. "Seriously. We've been dating for 3 months. It's time." 3 months, I echoed. The time had flown. It had been a roller coaster, but a sweet one. "Okay, I'll talk to them," I said, a little nervous. "Will they like me?" she asked suddenly, insecurity flashing across her face. "What if they don't?" "They'll love you," I reassured her. "You're amazing. How could they not?" "Really?" "Really," I said, pulling her close. "And even if the whole world hated you, I would still love you." "Ethan." Her eyes filled with tears. "Why are you so good to me?" "Because you're my girlfriend," I said, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. "Isn't that what you're supposed to do?" "But I was so awful to you before." "That's in the past," I said, kissing her. "The you right now is perfect." She hugged me tighter, whispering in my ear, "I love you, Ethan." "I love you too." 1 year later. "Ethan, your tie is crooked," Ava said, standing in front of the full-length mirror and adjusting it for me. "I'm nervous," I admitted. "What's there to be nervous about?" She laughed. "It's not like it's the first time you're seeing my parents." Today was our engagement party. After a year, we had fallen into a steady, loving rhythm. Ava's possessiveness was still there, but now it felt more like a cute, endearing quirk. "Oh, right," she said, suddenly serious. "Later, if one of the guests is a pretty woman and she starts talking to you, you know the protocol, right?" I know, I said with a long-suffering smile. "Respond politely, then immediately grab you and walk away." "Exactly." She nodded, satisfied. "You're getting so well trained." Yes. All thanks to my brilliant teacher." "Hey." She swatted my arm playfully. "You're supposed to call me your wife now." "Yes, my dearest wife." Looking at our reflection, I thought about the wild ride it had been to get here. From a terrifyingly possessive boss to my adorable, loving fiancée, Ava had changed so much. Of course, some things were the same. She still got jealous. She still wanted to be with me every second of every day. She was still an expert at getting her way with a perfectly timed pout. But now I just saw it as part of the woman I loved. "Ethan," she said softly, her expression melting. "Thank you for putting up with me." "I should be thanking you," I said, taking her hand. "Thank you for being willing to change for me." "Let's stop thanking each other," she smiled. "Let's just promise to be together forever, until we're old and wrinkly." "Deal," I said, kissing her hand. "You have my word. You have mine." Music began to drift in from the other room. It was time. "Shall we, my future Mrs. Miller?" I asked, offering her my arm. "Let's go, my Mr. Miller," she said, taking it. Together, we walked toward our future. I knew that with Ava, my life would never be boring. There would be jealousy, pouting, and her constant, overwhelming need to have me all to herself. But I was ready for it. This was the love I had chosen. Sweet and crazy. Ordinary and extraordinary.